And here we go in the lightweight division at UFC 259. Islam Makhachev and Drew Dober. Makhachev, all the big talk, ranked number, I believe, 14th in a lightweight division. He's 18-1. And getting the nod from Khabib saying he's the future of the lightweight division when his fight is underway. And Makhachev lands an early leg kick. Drew Dober has a lot of experience in the octagon as he backs up Makhachev with a left leg kick. These two were slated to fight once before, and it was canceled at weigh-ins. I forget what the reason was. Now Makhachev landing a right-hand jab to the face. And Makhachev working around the outside of the octagon. Drew Dober standing in the center. Both guys showing good leg movement. Here comes Makhachev with an early takedown attempt. He gets the left knee and he takes him down. And he's already on top. Drew Dober got half guard in effect. But this is dangerous down here for Drew Dober, knowing what Makhachev can do. And you knew it was almost a matter of time. Let's see what he can do with it as he works to get the full mount. But Drew Dober doing a good job. Now we got a triangle choke attempt here, more like a neck crank. But Drew Dober in all types of trouble. And this is a guy in Makhachev that can just smother you. He's got the right arm free. He's pounding away at the head. And Drew Dober stops it for now. Now Drew Dober's got the left leg of Makhachev wrapped up. No chance of getting a full mount here. So he's at least got some type of position even though he's on his back, but still in a very dangerous position. And Makhachev trying to use the right leg to split the legs of Dober, but he's not going to get his left leg out of there. Drew Dober's got it wrapped up pretty tight. So good defense here for Makhachev, or for Dober, and Makhachev knows it. He tries now to wail away at the legs, try to get him separated, but that's not going to happen. Makhachev just squeezing at the neck of Drew Dober, kind of like a triangle choke, but more of a neck crank, if you will. Nothing that's going to end the fight, but it's just going to cause Dober some pain here. Now those legs of Dober are spreading a little bit, and now he wraps them up once again. So Dober showing good defense here from his back. This by no means he's out of the water. Just 158 left here in round one. And Islam Makhachev building up all types of control time. These guys are still in the same position. You got Makhachev landing some strikes here and there to the head, a couple elbows. Nothing serious. And now he's looking to get the full mount, and he might have it here in a second. Nope. Good job by Dober once again, but now he's got a side mount. Or side control, I should say. Still trying to get the full mount. It's going to be very difficult with Dober's knees bent. Now you can look at this two ways. Makhachev showing good skill on the ground, but Dober showing good skill with defense too. Oh, and here comes the full mount. Now he gets the back of Dober, and they're spinning. And Makhachev loses position momentarily. Boys, he almost had the full mount, and they're still battling here. Dober's on his back, and now Makhachev jumps back to side control. Wow, what a series of events there. I mean, these are two high-level guys on the ground really battling. Dober trying to make sure he doesn't get finished here. Now gives up his back once again. He rolls to his back and gets out of it. Now we got an arm. Wow, look at this. He's stretching out that arm. He's got an arm lock. Weird position here. Dober's going to try to pick him up and slam. He's trying to get that arm out. He's in serious trouble here. as Makhachev was really pulling on it, but he gets out of it and he survives. And now all of a sudden you got Dober on top pounding away at the bell. So, man. And now with some high-level ground game by both fighters. As anyone else in that position probably gets finished by Makhachev. Makhachev's still going to win round 1. Put in a lot more work. 7-3 in significant strikes. Not great. Nearly 2.5 minutes of control time. But credit Drew Dober for not getting submitted, because it just seems like Makhachev is so strong from the ground that if you slip up and make one mistake, he doesn't lock the leg up or keep his knees bent. And at one point, it looked like he gave up his back to get submitted, but he rolled out of it very nicely. And then you have like a non-traditional armbar there, which looked like it could have ended the fight. Drew Dober held on for dear life. And that's because Makhachev didn't get his feet fully extended, his legs fully extended, but still almost secured the armbar with the knees. It's wild. Here we go, round number 2. Makhachev with a slight lead in significant strikes. Definite lead in control time. He controlled round 1, so he's going to get that round, you would believe. Here comes Drew Dober with a right and a left. Both guys fighting southpaw right now. And here goes for another takedown for Makhachev. And boy, despite Drew Dober showing good work on the ground, he's still going for another takedown. Looks like he's not going to land it this time, but he still drives Dober into the fence and takes his leg out. And down goes Dober. 4:15 left in round 2. And we'll get some more grappling here. Sometimes these grappling positions could get boring, but in this case, both guys somewhat skilled. I mean, when you're in there against Makhachev, he's obviously up there, one of the best in this position. But so far, Dober has not gotten submitted. But guess what? He can't get out of it either. Now you got Makhachev with a left leg free. The right leg is tied up, as Dober's preventing the full mount once again. And Makhachev still working for position. You got Dober sitting up with his back to the fence as Makhachev tries to regain those legs, lift up the hips, and pull him out to the center of the octagon. And despite how good you are at defending yourself on the ground, it's still a nightmare when you got a guy like Makhachev just smothering you. It just takes you out of your normal game of throwing strikes, trying to get the knockout punch. All that is gone. And Makhachev secures the legs of Dober. This isn't good. Much like Khabib secured the legs of McGregor. When he's on top of you and he's got your legs stretched out and he's going to constantly work up the body. But Drew Dober gets a knee up, and that's a good thing for him. But Makhachev is still on top here with 2:20 left in round 2, excuse me. And boy, on this card, we started out with 5 of the first 7 fights knockouts, including a submission. We've had 3 straight decisions since then. So you just never know. Here in fight 4 of the main card at UFC 259. 2 minutes left in round number 2. And Makhachev still on top. And regardless of the defense not getting submitted, it's still a clinic here by Makhachev, as he's never in danger at any point in this fight. One thing you can never get, though, is the full mount. Drew Dober at least protecting from that. But again, you still can't escape the grip of Makhachev, and that's going to be dangerous for any opponent. It just takes everything away from you, especially if you're a striker. It'll be interesting. Makhachev goes on to win this fight, the next matchup, and the matchup after that if he continues winning. How good will the ground game be against some of the best fighters in the lightweight division? So far, it seems pretty darn good and can take a guy right out of their normal fight, as has happened to Drew Dober in real time. 40 seconds left, round number 2. Makhachev standing above Dober now. One thing he's not doing is getting a lot of strikes. Be good for him to finish here. He's not going to get a submission. I mean, he still could, but likely won't happen. And here we see some elbows. 3 straight elbows there by Makhachev. Now a hammer fist. None of them too serious, but at least he's getting some credit for some strikes here. That's important. 10 seconds left in round number 2. And as we get to the end of round number 2, we'll give you some stats, update you on those, but the control time is really the main storyline right now, as Makhachev has 6 minutes and 1 second of control time and really just dominating from the ground. Now, when you look at significant strikes, it's not great for either guy. 19-6. Headshots, 36-6, all in favor of Makhachev. So he's just dominating this fight here through 2 rounds. And despite Makhachev not getting a lot of significant strikes, by controlling Dober for 6 minutes, and I mean control, like Drew Dober, at any second, if he gives up one position, he's in major trouble being submitted. So he's not able to ever focus on landing strikes. He's constantly working on protecting himself from being submitted. So over time, Makhachev is just going to build up in every category: control time, significant strikes, total strikes, headshots. And what looked dismal in the first round, like 8-6, is now stretched out to 18-6, or 19-6, excuse me, in terms of significant strikes. And if that continues, Makhachev is just going to win in dominating fashion by either submission or unanimous decision. Remember, the guy is 18-1. Oh, when Dober comes in with a big left hand, he misses. Now Makhachev has a hold of him once again. And that's one thing you couldn't afford if you're Drew Dober, is to get into the body of Makhachev, which he did by missing a punch, and he's right back to the ground. And when you're facing a guy like Makhachev, you better have good takedown defense, because if you don't, it's going to be a long night. And that's what it looks like here for Drew Dober, who's on his back once again. And if he can't get out of it this time, it's going to be over 10 minutes of control for Islam Makhachev. Now Makhachev has side control. Again, never can get the full mount. Very rarely he got the back of Dober for a second here and there. Dober spun out of it. Several times Dober was in trouble, but he still did everything he needed to do to not get submitted and continue the fight, but in just no way has any ability to get a finish himself. He's constantly under duress. It's the best way to put it. Now you got a triangle choke attempt. Oh, and he taps. That's it. Wow. Islam Makhachev finally gets the submission about 1:50 into round number 3, and I didn't see that coming. All of a sudden, he gets a triangle choke in. He starts squeezing, and you can see Drew Dober's eyes blink a couple times like he knows he's running out of oxygen. And finally, he taps. Matter of fact, it's 3:20 left in round number 3. So 1:40 into round number 3, Islam Makhachev is going to get the submission here. And now that he's got the submission, just a dominating performance at the end of the day for Islam Makhachev, who's going to move now to 19-1. And even though Drew Dober wasn't ranked, I say put this guy in the top 10. I mean, he's won 19 of 20 fights. Led in significant strikes 25-7, control time 7-17. And that's the story right there. With the triangle choke, Drew Dober falls to 23-10 here in the lightweight division at UFC 259.